Hello, friend. Today we're going to lift this conversation to a higher level. Mind Control 101 showed you the tactics. Mind Control 102 showed you the structure behind those tactics. But Mind Control 103, this is where you start to become untouchable. Because there is a way to rise above every manipulation, every emotional hook, every fear-based suggestion, and every appearance of lack or danger. And that higher way is rooted in a truth most people never discover. All mind control operates only on the personal sense of self. Everything that manipulates you must first convince you that you are a small, separate, vulnerable identity. A personality that can be shamed, triggered, threatened, rejected, or rewarded. That is the entire battlefield. But there is a deeper dimension of you, what David Bohm called the Implicate Order, a field of awareness that is not personal, not wounded, not defined by past experience, and not programmable. The moment you begin to rest in that self, manipulation loses its leverage. The higher way begins with one principle: impersonalize everything. Impersonalize the self you think you are. Impersonalize the people trying to influence you, and impersonalize every negative appearance that shows up as fear, guilt, shame, scarcity, or conflict. Let's break that down. First, impersonalize the self. Most of your triggers come from a false identity, an identity built from memory, trauma, praise, criticism, childhood conditioning, and cultural programming. That surface self is where all dark psychology lands. It is the receptive target that manipulators depend on, but it is not the real you. When you feel attacked, tempted, shamed, or pulled into fear, recognize this. This is not about the real me. This is just a suggestion made to a version of me that isn't permanent and isn't true. Immediately, power shifts back to you. Second, impersonalize others. Most people are not operating from conscious intention. They're acting out patterns, fears, and beliefs they inherited. When you stop making their behavior personal, you rise above their influence. Instead of "they hurt me," it becomes "that was an impersonal pattern expressing through them. It has no authority over my state." This is how you dissolve emotional hooks before they form. Third, impersonalize appearances. Every negative condition, lack, fear, illness, conflict, rejection, presents itself as kind of a hypnotic suggestion. It says, "This is real, this is happening to you, respond to me, fear me, believe me." But here's the higher truth. You have the right to dismiss any appearance that does not align with your deeper self. A thought of fear shows up. You're dismissed. You don't exist. A thought of unworthiness whispers to you. You're dismissed. You don't exist. An old memory tries to drag you into shame. You're dismissed. You don't exist. You're not fighting it. You're not wrestling with it. You're not giving it reality. You are recognizing its nature. A suggestion without substance. What happens next is quiet but powerful. When you stop feeding a suggestion with attention, emotion, and identification, it collapses. Its energy dissolves. Its influence disappears. This is the part nobody teaches. Mind control only works on material you take personally. It cannot touch the self that is aware, present, and rooted in the deeper life within. When you begin to identify as that self, even gently, even imperfectly, you step into a life where you are no longer operating from fear-based reactivity. You begin to respond from clarity, calmness, and inner authority. That is the beginning of true psychological freedom. Mind Control 103 is not about outsmarting manipulators. It's not about memorizing tactics. It's not about building stronger defenses. It's about stepping into the level of self where manipulation doesn't land. You rise above the battlefield. You move from the explicit order, the world of appearances, into the implicate order, the dimension where your deeper intelligence lives and moves and expresses. And from that place, your inner stance becomes simple. I do not take appearances personally. I do not take thoughts personally. I do not take fear personally. I stand in the awareness of the self that cannot be controlled. This is the higher way. And when you begin living from this place, even for a few seconds at a time, the entire structure of psychological control begins to collapse around you. The hooks fail. The triggers misfire. The illusions dissolve. The old identity loses weight, and the deeper life within you becomes your reality. Friend, this is where your real power lives. Welcome to Mind Control 103, the higher way. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.